Thanks for staying with us. Now, Tangible Africa is making coding more accessible to young people across Africa. It introduces primary and high school pupils to coding concepts through app games that are played without the use of computers. The coding games are downloadable as tanks, ranges, and boats apps on all platforms. Tangible Africa is an engagement project of the Nelson Mandela University Computing Science Department and the Lever Foundation. For more on this, we are joined by its operation manager, Jackson Shabalala. Thank you so much for your time. We do appreciate it. I had a bit of a stumble there with all the apps because I'm not about coding. I really struggled with IT in high school.
Really?
Yes, it was not great. Anyway, so you're here to tell us about this great concept.
Yes.
Perhaps just tell us firstly why you decided to do this. Why did you feel the need to help primary and high school people?
Great question, Heidi. So what we found is that with this buzz term that's been going on, the fourth industrial revolution, and really it's about advancing the digital and automation technologies, we're like, what about those learners that are actually in the digital divide? Those schools that are disconnected, because the majority of schools in South Africa, unfortunately, don't have access to computers. But there's so many careers and so many opportunities in that space. So we were like, let's go there. Let's not just fold our arms. Let's go teach them coding concepts, even though it's without the use of computers or the internet. So it's a great way to get into the most disconnected communities. And we just use a low-cost mobile phone and customize tokens that have QR codes on them. But a big thing that we found in what we teach, especially when we teach coding, is problem solving. So we teach learners actively how to solve problems, and we've seen anecdotal evidence of how they've been better in other subjects as well as schools. And also we look at computational theories in order to think better, in order to work better, in order to collaborate better.
I want to ask how this has been welcomed, especially in rural areas, because oftentimes we forget how those areas are neglected. Some are still even being taught under trees.
Yes.
And, there's a huge digital gap and divide that's happening in this country at the moment. People don't have access to data. People don't even have access to computers. If I remember when I grew up in eMalahleni, the first time I had access to a computer, I think I was in high school. So there's a huge gap in terms of the accessibility in these small towns and in these villages. Has that been a challenge for you?
Yes, it has been a challenge, but since you brought up eMalahleni, we actually work with a lady named Nomusa Kinanda in that area, and she's been rolling out our project in that space. So finding, we call them regional coordinators and coding ambassadors who have gone into these rural areas, knowing the context, knowing the environment. They've been able to introduce these concepts, and it's helped us get access there, understand the language, understand the context, and people have welcomed it. So we thought it would have been a bit tougher, but people want this information. They realize how important it is. You even mentioned that you weren't really someone who was good with coding or did IT.
No, I didn't enjoy it at all.
I did Bachelor's of Arts. I did industrial psychology and English. But this is so simple for anyone to plug and play that we were able to teach people who've never touched a computer before. And we've seen, we have some challenges here and there with people not really seeing the importance of offline coding. Everyone wants a tool, everyone wants computers. And we say, yes, those are great. But currently, with the lack of access, let's have something we can do. Let's have something to solve this digital divide that exists in these areas so that we can be inclusive in our education instead of excluding those who are marginalized.
Yeah, so I know that you're not just doing work here in South Africa, and you've also won an African Union Award in Tunisia. Maybe tell us about that, and also the work that you're doing on the African continent. We mustn't forget about the challenges that Africans face.
Of course. If we think about the challenges that South Africa faces, imagine how many more are in the deeper African continent. So we applied for an innovation in education pitch in Tunisia. Out of 900 applicants and 15 shortlisted finalists, we came second place in the continent. And it just showed us the value that people are starting to see in offline solutions in the context of Africa. And so that has been really great for us, and not just the award and not just the prize that came with the award, but also the networking and the people who were able to meet there. And we've already started with our expansion into Africa with our projects coordinator, Lizwe Gwaza. He was in Kenya for the last week, and he was training the Nairobi libraries networks there, Streams of Hope. We even trained some people from the Maasai tribe who will be going there into the deep rurals of Kenya to train coding, as well as great partnerships that we've been able to engage with, from a man called Isaac Nyangolo. He was the first prize winner at the AU. And he said, listen, when you come to my country, when you come to Kenya, we will connect you with other people. And we've really seen that we are closing gaps. And we're not Kenyans and South Africans and Tunisians and all of those things, but we are Africans who are wanting one solution, especially with We Code Land in Tunisia. Our final day in Tunisia, someone said, come to our, Wala Kasmi, a really great CEO of We Code Land. He's like, come to my department, we'll get your things rolled out in Tunisia. So a lot of great plans with that. Next year, early next year, we're going to Ghana with 1 billion Africa. We are having plans for Zimbabwe. And we currently have coding clubs happening in Zambia. So there's a lot of work that's happening, and a lot of people are supporting us with this work. So partnerships for us are crucial in getting into these countries.
Maybe you can teach me how to code, because
Simple.
it makes me very nervous. Just lastly, maybe just tell us about your further plans here in South Africa for somebody watching and saying, I really want to get into that, but I don't have access to a computer or even a cell phone. How do I get into this?
So with AWS and Communities, they've been a great partner of ours, and we've rolled out our project, launched our project in Ireland. So there will be tomorrow a very, very important announcement for us. We're having an international coding tournament with 5 teams from South Africa and 5 teams from Ireland who will battle it out on a virtual tournament on Teams. And that's really exciting because they've also supported us in developing in South Africa the tournaments and the reach that we've had in South Africa. So we have coding for mamas happening with 100 mothers who are going to train 100 learners and reach 10,000 learners with the youth media movement in Cape Town with Marshall Nelson and AWS and Communities. And a big one for us, especially those learners without phones or without any access, we have 40 Tangible Africa offline syllabuses starting with 40 lessons throughout the year, low cost, no need for even cell phones. And we'll be running this out, and people can reach out to us at info@leverfoundation.org if they really want to be part of this, any school that wants to be part of this, or a non-profit organization that wants to be part of this. And our Tangible Academy is also rolling out in South Africa. So a lot of exciting things happening on our side. And if they want to reach us on WhatsApp, it's 066-060-5604. And we're really wanting to partner with everyone. We've had some great support, and we want to touch everyone with the gift of coding.
Great. Hopefully you can help me with that. Sorry, I actually just have one question. Do you have budget challenges? Would you call out for support even from the South African government to say we actually could do with some help so we can reach more learners?
We're a non-profit organization, so as an NGO and an NPO, we always have budget challenges, but we do the best with what we have. But we're really wanting to call out to sponsors. People can sponsor us to reach deeper into more rural areas, more of Africa, more of South Africa. There's so many schools. Out of 25,000 schools, 16,000 schools in South Africa don't have computers. So we're saying there are 16,000 schools we need to reach out to. So please, if there's anyone watching this who wants to sponsor us, wants to partner with us, and wants to expand this project with us, we have a lot of people who have been sponsoring us, a lot of people have been partnering us, but it's not enough. We always need more. So that would be great. Thank you for asking that, actually.
Sure, no problem. Thank you so much for coming in. We do appreciate it, and continue with that very important work. I think the learners out there will really appreciate that, and, take it with them in life as they do whatever they need to do. So
Awesome.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much,
We really
Heidi.
do appreciate it.